Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Supported by the Research Council, a strategic program is launched for safety and quality of food in the Sultanate. French delegation discusses in Duqm economic cooperation between the Sultanate and France. And the low-pressure system continues over the northern governorates of the Sultanate, and the Wilaya of Nizwa records the highest rainfall quantity. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Joko Widodo of Indonesia in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the victims of the tsunami that hit Indonesia's Sunda Straits. Within the framework of the bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, His Excellency General Sultan bin Muhammad al-Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office, received General Zubair Mahmood Hayat, Pakistan Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, His Excellency and the Minister of Royal Office affirmed on the deep-rooted relations between the Sultanate and Pakistan. The two sides also discussed means of strengthening cooperation in various spheres and discussed a number of topics with mutual concern. With the aim of strengthening health sector services in the Sultanate, the Royal Navy of Oman organized innovative leadership workshop in the health field in cooperation with Harvard University. A number of public and private health institutions took part in the workshop. The workshop, held at a Shafaq Club, aims to enhance the quality of health services provided in the Sultanate. It also aims to strengthen economic partnership amid health institutions in the Sultanate and the United States. The event was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harab al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs. For the first time in the Middle East, the Sultanate is establishing a strategic program for food safety and quality. It concerns the hygiene of food in all phases of food chains. The Research Council announced that it provides 2.5 million Omani riyals for food safety strategic research program. A steering committee was formed by the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources for the establishment of the research program, with the participation of all bodies concerned. The project consisted of 4 main pillars that work to address the current challenges and predict future food problems. His Excellency Rino Salih, the Ambassador of France accredited to the Sultanate, stressed the deep historical relations binding the Sultanate and France, which date back to more than 3 centuries. These remarks of the French ambassador came after the signing of joining of Coles Company to the alliance of the 4 French companies, which signed earlier a partnership agreement with Duqm Special Economic Zone Authority. The agreement, signed on behalf of the visit of French delegation, came as part of the cooperation between the two countries as to achieve joint commercial and economic interests in Duqm Economic Zone. The French delegation also discussed with the management of authority enhancing and increasing the existence of French ships and companies and investment in the zone. The agreement was signed by the French companies in the presence of His Excellency Yahya bin Saeed Al-Jabri, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Duqm Special Economic Zone. The members of the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Muscat called for considering taxi drivers when implementing the new land transport law, and that services take into consideration people with special needs. This came during a visual presentation made by the Ministry of Transport and Communications in a meeting of the Municipal Council of Governorate of Muscat. The new law puts certain conditions and regulations for taxi drivers within efforts to activate and organize the tourism sector. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Engineer Muhsin bin Muhammad al-Sheikh, Chairman of the Council. Exchanging viewpoints in a number of military topics, top discussions of Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces, with Lord Geoffrey James Deere, Deputy Speaker of the British House of Lords, and his accompanying delegation, who is currently visiting the Sultanate. The meeting was held at the premises of the National Defense College. During the meeting, the two sides exchanged cordial talks and reviewed the existing relations between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom. Major General Salim bin Musallam Qatan, commandant of the National Defense College, received in his office at Muaskar Beit al-Falad General Zubair Mahmoud Hayat, Pakistan chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, and his accompanying delegation. The two sides reviewed military cooperation aspects between the Sultanate and Pakistan. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and reviewed viewpoints on a number of topics of mutual concern. After that, the chief guest paid an inspection visit to the National Defense College to acquaint with the facilities and modern technologies it includes. On the sideline of the meeting, the commandant of the National Defense College and His Excellency Ali Jaweed, Ambassador of Pakistan, accredited to the Sultanate, signed a memorandum of understanding on academic cooperation and scientific research between the National Defense College and the National Defense University in Pakistan. General Zubair Mahmoud Hayat, Pakistan chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, and his accompanying delegation paid a visit to the premises of the Command and Staff College of Sultan's Armed Forces. The guest paid an inspection tour to the classes, halls, and facilities of the college, in addition to the modern technologies it includes. He as well was briefed on the college's march and its general curricula. Mechanism of legislative and monitoring work at the State Council and British House of Lords topped the discussion session between the members of the State Council and the delegation of British House of Lords. The session also reviewed legislations of both councils and stages of laws drafting discussions, in addition to the most topics currently studied in both councils. The session focused on legislative specializations of the Council of Oman, in addition to coordination and integration between the state and Shura councils to practice these powers. The meeting also reviewed the means of enhancing cooperation between the State Council and the British House of Lords. Still to come in our news bulletin. Japan's biggest snow festival in Sapporo showcases about 200 snow and ice sculptures. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Ministry of Health affirmed in a statement that a number of cases of coronavirus Middle East respiratory syndrome. The number of registered cases amounted to 5 that resulted in the death of 2, while the rest of patients are receiving required medical care in a referral hospital. The ministry affirms the continuation of its efforts to monitor and combat the disease and follow up the health situation of people who are in contact with affected patients. The ministry urged to take the information from its source. It also called upon citizens and residents to adhere to prevention measures and follow good health practices when coughing and sneezing. Royal Oman Police participated in Muscat Festival 2019 at various events and activities at Al Amrat and Al Nasim parks. The ROP's participation came through organizing traffic movement, spread awareness among society members, and reserve security at festival fields. A number of ROP formations also participated in a small exhibition for awareness and guidance brochures, in addition to a mobile vehicle which provided traffic services, in addition to a number of children entertainment activities. The Directorate General of Customs also participated at Awareness Corner for introducing the computing system for e-services facilities, in addition to show prohibited items which affect negatively on human safety. The total of small and medium-sized SMEs enterprises recorded in the Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development, RIADA, reached around 37,000 by the end of December 2018, according to the statistics of National Center for Statistics and Information. The number of SMEs recorded in the governorate of Muscat at the end of December reached more than 12,000. The governorate of North Batna came in second place by recording around 6,000 institutions, and the governorate of Ad-Dakhiliya came in third position with 5,000 enterprises recorded. Stations of monitoring rainfalls affiliated to the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources recorded highest rain quantities in the governorate of Ad-Dakhiliya, where it reached 51 millimeters in the wilaya of Nizwa. In the governorate of North Batna, the rainfall's quantity recorded 44 millimeters. In the wilaya of Saham and in the wilaya of Al-Awabi in the governorate of South Batna, it reached 37 millimeters, and 36 millimeters recorded in the wilaya of Qurayat in the governorate of Muscat. The Sultanate's dams collected huge quantities of water, especially in the dams of Masah in Al-Braymi, Muah and Khasab in the wilaya of Khasab, Khab al-Shamsi Dam in the wilaya of Daba, Al-Thamid Antanuf in the wilaya of Nizwa, and Ghol Dam in the wilaya of Al-Hamra. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation expected continuous effects of low-pressure system in the coming hours on the northern governorates of the Sultanate. Japan's biggest snow festival has opened in Sapporo today, showcasing about 200 snow and ice sculptures. Tourists gathered and took photos in front of the big sculptures featuring Star Wars characters and other popular culture figures. Naomi Osaka, who recently won the Australia Open to become the world #1 female tennis player, also appeared among the repertoire of this year's event. Osaka's grandfather hails from Hokkaido, where the 8-day Sapporo Snow Festival is being held. The festival is held in 3 locations in Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. Organizers expect more than 2 million visitors from across Japan and abroad to attend the event. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning. Over the coasts of the Arabian Sea, winds will be southeasterly to south light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Supported by the Research Council, a strategic program is launched for safety and quality of food in the Sultanate. French delegation discusses an ad hoc economic cooperation between the Sultanate and France. And the low-pressure system continues over the northern governorates of the Sultanate, and the Wilaya of Nizwa records the highest rainfall quantity. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.